Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consume Cinema. I'm your host. And what about the world, Ronald? What do you want to do to the whole world? Burn it. Burn it all. And today we have another installment in the Joe Revisit series with the 1991 film Backdraft. Now, really love this one. Great performances from Robert De Niro, who plays Shadow. Also, Kurt Russell. One of the bald ones is in this, but he's kind of like forgettable. He plays the younger brother. You also have a small appearance by Donald Sutherland. He is great. J.T. Walsh has a minor role in this film. Some really good minor performances in the film that make it a little bit better than it otherwise would be. We're continuing our Robert De Niro kick, and we're kind of getting towards the end, I would say, because we're getting more and more into the films where he makes appearances, but he doesn't necessarily play, like a primary role. Shadow is an important character in the film, but he's not so important that you couldn't do the film without him, I would say. He just, adds on what's already there. But yeah, it's been a good while since I've seen this, so it's going to be fun, watching this and getting it up on the channel. But as always, please remember to blank, blank, and blank. Channel's doing awesome right now. We are well over 4,000. And on our way to 5,000. I have launched the Joe Consume Cinema Patreon. Every member of my Patreon gets a guaranteed movie request. I have the first season of The Penguin, the first season of Mr. Robot, and the second season of Squid Game. That's 30 reactions right there. I'm working my way through all of Mr. Robot, and I'm up to Season 2, Episode 7 over there on Patreon right now. So yeah, I feel that's, more than worth the $2 per month right there. But also, the guaranteed movie requests. Not a lot of reactors do that on their Patreon channels. A lot of them do, like, random chance or drawing or whatever. For me, it's just guaranteed. So if you're one of those people that's been trying to get your one movie watched by reactors for the longest time, hoping, that other reactors will follow suit, this is a really good way to do it. It's probably the easiest you'll ever get. Also, if, money's tight or whatever, I understand. You could also just join as a free member, too. That would still help me out, and, I'd really appreciate it. Any support is always very appreciated. That allows me to keep making these reactions. And yeah, I don't want to prolong this one too much. Let's just get right to the movie. I didn't know Hans Zimmer did the music to this. That's cool.
Okay, boys, let's drop 2 lines and hold a squad.
Everything I own in the whole world is up there on the second floor.
Yeah, beginning of the movie really establishes quickly how their father was a hero firefighter. And, it sets up what's going to be the main conflict in the entire film. A lot of people think J.T. Walsh's character is the main antagonist in the film. Really, it's just fire in general.
Is that a gas line?
Oh, shit. First victim. It's a pretty brilliant setup, the way that they arrange these killings. There he is.
Well, what do we got here? Fireman's costume, huh? Thanks for coming to my graduation today, brother. Real inspiration.
Here we go. Time to examine the crime scene.
Hey, Shadow. So, you got a cause there? You have a bad day here. Somebody dies. And that's just not fucking good enough.
Yeah, the younger brother is absolutely a pretender.
Holy shit!
Yeah, do not park in front of a fucking hydrant.
You're doing it wrong. Alright, stay beside me. I mean right beside me. Let's hit this bitch head on!
It's gonna flash on us, fool! We gotta back out!
There's steam on us a little, but you won't flash! Here comes your water! I knew you were a pussy! Alright! It's in the walls! But where's the second in companies, huh?
Sorry, man. John Wayne time. You're on your own, boss.
Slow down, it's jumping floors to us, okay? Now relax, put your mask on.
Jesus.
Oh, shit! Look out! I got... What's going? You go, we go! Oh!
How the hell could you not tell that the weight was off? It's a fucking mannequin. It weighs like 20 pounds.
A little too late with this one.
The first time I saw that, I felt bad for him, but then at the same time, that's a big fuck up and kind of stupid.
Cap was I told you to stay right fucking side me, Brian!
You split the team up. Get that part right.
Alderman, Inspector Rimgale.
J.T. Walsh is a damn good actor.
Man gets stuffed through the windshield of his own car. I mean, is that an accident or is it
I
arson?
have a very uncomplicated job. To decide if a fire is arson or not. And if so, to catch the son of a bitch doing it. If my investigative methods happen to muck up the campaign of certain mayor wannabes, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
We almost lost the whole goddamn company for you today just because, well, you know, since you shut down 33.
If you have a problem, why don't you help us? Why don't you work with the task force?
Task
on
force?
this?
3 guys have died already this year because of the cuts made by your fucking task force.
Yep. He plays a scumbag very, very well.
I'm proud of what you did to help save that woman's life. That was a hell of a job.
You shouldn't believe everything you read in the papers, Alderman. See that? That's a mannequin.
Well, at least respect the honesty. He's not trying to, win any stolen valor there.
Run, damn you!
Competitive nature.
I'm not gonna quit, Steven, you hear me? Come on!
Jesus.
All right, you ready?
Quick, Steven, we gotta wait for a hose
Jump
team!
when I say it won't get us. Hold your breath!
Yeah, seeing the real thing kind of put everything in perspective for him.
I waited. I would have waited. Hey, come on, don't worry about it.
You did it all the way, Steven. You were really a hero today.
Went in because there was a kid up there. You know, I do what I do because that's my way. What if there had been another kid up there? What do you think, Brian? Time to move on?
He's gonna take that job now.
Been told by your battalion chief, your captain, and by me not to do nothing, right? Not to do nothing till ordered. That's correct, right? Yes, sir. Okay, it starts, right? The glory boy flash starts. Hey, I'm a hero. Heroes don't just stand around. You can tell me. That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
You punched out a window for ventilation. Was that before or after you noticed you were standing in a lake of gasoline? You could have burned or killed or crisped half that company. To say nothing about the fact that you wrecked the physical evidence that I used to prove that it's arson, and you know how goddamn hard it is to determine the cause of these fires. Now you go home and you think about that.
Brian McCaffrey, your new assistant.
Oh yeah, your dentist's kid. Well, why don't you go find a corner to hide in? I'll get to you later. I don't want to have to deal with you now.
He thinks he's a plant sent by the alderman to fuck him up. Yeah. He's dealt with it before. Before he became chief fire investigator, he was a fireman. Damn good one, too.
Swayzak sends you down here. Fine. I got to eat you. Those are the rules. I got nothing to say about that. You work for me now. You step out of line, you make one false move, you're out of here. And don't think you're the first.
This scene with Donald Sutherland is so fucking good, man. It's the best scene in the film, in my opinion.
Fireman? I like fireman.
Yeah, you like everybody, Ronald.
He's the little one with the hat. Oh, what a treat.
Do I know you?
Your dad did.
Put it away.
Come on, Shadow. He lost his dad to the animal, and you didn't even tell him who he was coming to see. Tell him.
The animal.
Let me tell you about old Ronald. Ronald likes telephones. Likes to tape wooden matches to the bell strikers and then wrap it in cotton with gasoline. You had a whole little thing going there, didn't you, Ronald? Yeah? Started making telephone calls.
Never proved. Tell him about us down on State Street.
Nah, nobody cares about that one.
It was your basic warehouse torch that I was doing for the owner. I mean, they're a cakewalk. I just lost my concentration, I guess, and my animal turned on me. Got the whole place going like hell. Hair was on fire, my hands, everything. I was dead. And suddenly I was alive. I was being pulled out of there by my hero, my shadow here. Of course, you didn't see this big tub of phosphorus, did you? Explosion lit him up so bright, left his shadow on the wall. Still shy about rolling up your sleeve, Shadow? Show him your stomach.
Pure pyromaniac.
Do you regret your crimes?
Yes.
Do you consider yourself ready for society?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, right, Ronald. You're ready, all right.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. You remember this, Ronald? Remember who it belonged to? What did you do to that little girl, Ronald?
I burned her.
You burned her. What do you do to old ladies, Ronald?
Burn them.
What would you like to do to the whole world?
Burn it all.
He should never ever get out.
See you next year, Ronald.
Oh, this shot right here is great.
Explosion blew out the flame before the first engine even got here.
Jeez.
We got heavy smoke stains observed in entry room. Smoke demarcation line is very low. Come on, you sneaky little son of a bitch. Tell me where you came from. Point me where you started. Come on. Fire originated in this room, took its time, hung out, but then the air ran out. So it couldn't breathe. It was snuffed. Still all that trapped heat lying low, waiting for some sucker to give it one big gulp of air.
Another backdraft.
No sign of accelerants. Well, if it's arson, somebody figured a new way to hide it.
It is really clever how, they create this situation where a fire starts, but then it's in this trapped, confined area and it doesn't have oxygen, so it snuffs itself out. Someone, opens a door, gives it a nice big burst of oxygen, all of a sudden massive fireball, big enough to kill a human being, literally launches the guy like 20 feet.
They picked up traces of something. What was it? Trictichloride.
Oh, yeah, trictichloride. It eats magnesium. It's an absorption catalyst used in toxic waste acts. It's pretty rare. They stopped making it a couple of years ago.
First breadcrumb. Unique accelerant.
Take the top off.
This is cool.
Holy shit!
That's it. Son of a bitch. That's it. This guy is different. He don't love fire.
Who?
The killer. He used magnesium to make it look like an accident. Torches want to fry the whole goddamn world. But the fires that killed those guys never really burned up that much. The trictichloride hid the magnesium in the plug, but it burned slow.
He killed these guys.
But he could have killed everybody there. The backdraft blew out the flame. Whoever fried Seagrave and Cosgrove went to a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure they died by fire, but they also made sure that the fire blew itself out. I'm not calling anyone yet. You can't rush this. I've seen it too many times before.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not the typical MO. Pyromaniacs, don't discriminate, just target one person. They want to burn the entire world, like Ronald there. So it's very unusual for this situation where you have this targeted killing with flame, but they don't want it to do any more damage than is necessary.
I knew that I really wanted to be a fireman.
Then why'd you quit?
I should have said I wanted to be a good one.
That's pretty much it right there.
One short with Brian gone. Let's wait for the next 10 engines.
Let's catch it before it does break out.
Don't go splitting us up again, man. It ain't safe.
I haven't got time for this, Axe.
Oh, you're so very sly, but so am I.
Check that door for heat, Tim?
No, he did not. First time he made a mistake as a fireman.
Steve, you all right?
He's alive.
He's got third-degree burns over most of his face.
Had to be myth man again? Taking another fire barehanded instead of looking after your probie? Is that what happened? I had that fucker. He just didn't listen to me. He's a candidate. Your responsibility. You burned him, Steven. Fuck you.
Don't you have any leads at all?
No, Marty, I don't. In fact, we haven't found any connection between the victims at all.
Open your eyes. You got Seagrave, Cosgrove, and now Holcomb.
Holcomb?
Yeah, put them together. It's a goddamn list.
I didn't know the name of that victim had been released yet.
Fucked up. He knows them.
I'll do whatever you want me to do. I just want to help you nail that son of a bitch that burned Tim. Show me how.
Oh, Marty was acting a little strange. He's right. There's residue. Holcomb is the third victim. But the outer door held and it waited for Tim. In a word, Brian, what is this job all about?
Fire.
It's a living thing, Brian. It breathes, it eats, and it hates. The only way to truly kill it is to love it a little. Just like Ronald.
It's a great scene.
Jen, we checked and your boss was partners with all three of the murder victims in a company called Lakeside Dynamics. He's keeping that a secret.
I don't know anything about
Well, you
that.
might be able to find out.
We have a city planners meeting in 15 minutes. Marty,
He slept here.
just take it.
There's a copy of Swayzak's Manning report that we all know is bullshit, but we can never argue with the numbers because they're airtight. Seagrave, Holcomb, Cosgrove...
And Swayzak.
But why did he go through all this trouble just to cut a few firehouses?
When a firehouse closes, Swayzak converts it into a community center. The Lakeside Dynamics, you remember them? They get all the expensive construction work. I'm telling you, this is a total scam.
Ripped gas line. Burned his back. He goes back in for fucking Marty. I wish he had just left him there. Here's the backdraft. Ugh. Launches him.
I think I got a problem here.
Ugh. Jesus.
Yeah. God damn helpless here. I can't do it.
You still haven't put it together? I have.
And who, Ronald?
I want to know if this kid really wanted to be just like his dad.
I wanted to be him more than anything.
Did it look at you? It did. Whoever did this really knows the animal well, don't they? They know him real well, but they won't let him loose. They won't let him have any fun, so they don't love him. Now, who doesn't love fire and is around trichloride all day long?
Oh, my God.
He suspects his brother after he sees this, but you gotta remember, he got these canisters from the fire department because they were expired or whatever and just gonna be thrown away, so...
I just came by to see how you were doing.
Man, look at your face. I mean, all the things you must be thinking. God, you really hate my guts, don't you?
It's pretty weak misdirection, honestly. When I first saw this, I knew there was no way he was the one doing it. There it is.
Main to all units responding. Still with Battalion 25. This is going to be a hazardous materials response.
Is it Adcox? How do you know? What are they doing on the boat, Stephen? Axe gave them to me. They're just cleaning shit from the boat.
Stevie.
Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. I'm his lieutenant.
I'll handle it.
This is crazy.
And these people were killing firemen for money. Swayzak. He killed our friends for money. What the fuck would you do?
Look, you're his lieutenant, Stephen. You've got to handle this.
Ah, shit.
Brian! Stephen! I'm burning up in here!
I just couldn't let it go, Bull. go, Bull.
You go. We go.
Shit.
Don't move! That's my brother, goddammit! Don't tell him about Ed Cox. Don't let him. It'll hurt the department. I beat it.
Blood pressure 80 over 60.
Fire never got me.
These detectives would like to question you why you secretly paid Donald Cosgrove, Jeffrey Holcomb, and Alan Seagrave to create a phony manpower study.
Ask him who made money or firemen dying.
Okay, took some time just to gather my thoughts. So that was Backdraft. Very, very good. Haven't seen it in a long while, and, you know, it's nice to come back and revisit it. Best performances of the movie for me has to go to Kurt Russell, Robert De Niro, Donald Sutherland, a little bit J.T. Walsh. The character Brian, played by William Baldwin, you know, just an insert Baldwin brother. Doesn't really do it for me, honestly. It's just kind of a, I'm here, I'm gonna collect a paycheck kind of performance. Don't really like his acting all that much, so it kind of is a drain on the movie for me because he's kind of just there. But yeah, basic story is there's these sudden, you know, unexplained fire incidents where it doesn't fit the usual MO. You know, throughout the movie, we get acquainted with the kind of ideology of the fire starter, the pyromaniac, and they love fire and want to watch the entire world burn. Like, for them, creating fire and letting it grow and, you know, expand and consume everything in its wake is just the ultimate thrill. So it's really unusual where you have these fires where they're super controlled and directed at, you know, one individual, and they don't get out of control. It's very targeted, and it just doesn't fit the normal MO at all. It's very unusual, and, you know, immediately the fire investigators notice that, and it's kind of in the back of their mind while they're doing the investigation, but it's just very unusual and not at all what they would normally be dealing with. Best performance of the movie for me has to go to Robert De Niro as Shadow. I mean, that investigation is, you know, central to the entire movie. And again, it's interesting because Shadow, I would say, is a minor character, but he has the most interesting scenes and dialogue throughout the entire movie for me. I thought Kurt Russell did a decent job. The whole dynamic with the brothers and, you know, the constant fighting and arguing and, you know, trying to one-up one another on, you know, this profession that they both take very seriously. Kurt Russell's character more so than, you know, William Baldwin's character. And you also have, like, the occasional love interest thrown in, not particularly interesting to me throughout the entire film. The main drive behind this movie is the investigation. You know, that's central to, you know, what I care about in this film, and all the good stuff that surrounds that is kind of what I pay attention to, more so than, you know, the family, the girlfriend, you know, all that jazz. There are a ton of movies that focus on that stuff. That's kind of boring to me. But yeah, you had a great cameo by Donald Sutherland, who plays the pyromaniac fire starter Ronald. That's just some great dialogue, great acting from him. I love the give and take between him and Robert De Niro. You know, that scene where he's coming up for parole. This is a person that should never ever be allowed to leave. He needs to remain locked up for forever, because the second he gets out, he's just going to go right back to doing what he's always been doing. It's almost like a religion for him. It's that insane. But yeah, you have these unexplained arsons, and throughout the film, you get acquainted with the victims and how they tie into one of the main antagonists in the film, the alderman, played by J.T. Walsh. Yeah, he comes up with this horrible scam where he shuts these firehouses and then, you know, redevelops them into community centers or whatever it was. And, you know, this little shell company he's created with these three guys gets all the construction work, and it's a ton of money coming in, and he's literally making money killing firefighters, because by shutting all these extra firehouses, they're leaving all these guys in the line. Throughout the film, they go into multiple fires, right? And 4 or 5 times they talk about how they're going in undermanned, and it's like getting people killed and hurt. So yeah, the character Axe, his entire motivation for why he wanted to kill those guys makes total sense to me, and I'm really not bothered by the fact that, as far as, you know, everyone is concerned, he dies a hero, because the people he went after honestly deserved what they got. That's just beyond, you know, reproach. There is no justification for greed that directly gets people killed. You can't be more unsympathetic than that. Despite the fact that that character, the alderman played by J.T. Walsh, is, a pretty big antagonist in the film, he is not the main antagonist in the film. The main antagonist in the film is fire. And you can see that how, like, the entire film is shot, just the way it shows off the flames. It's not just, a raging inferno that is out of control. Like, it has that element in it, but there's also, scenes where they're approaching a door and they know that the fire is growing inside and the door literally expands, like you see it like just bulging, but also how it can be very subtle. Like the scene where the one guy who's about to become a victim drops his keys, picks him up, and you see, the smoke go underneath the door, then breathe itself back in. Like there's a subtlety and nuance to almost the performance of the flame, which is pretty weird to say, but I honestly feel like that's true in this film. I actually just really appreciate the way that they shoot the fire scenes. There is, the raging inferno that's out of control, explosions going off, all that stuff, but there's also a little bit of subtlety. It hides itself because it knows it's about to, prey upon another victim. So the film is almost giving it some personality, which I actually really appreciate, and just the way it's shot, I thought it was very well done. But yeah, usually people that watch this movie, they kind of gush over, the brother feud and, the love interest, the family element. Not so much for me. For me, it's, the detective side of the film that's really interesting. It makes me want to watch this film again, sometime down the road. But yeah, I just have to say that, firemen are heroes. You see them put themselves on the line, constantly doing their job. It takes a lot of balls to be a fireman, for sure. Every time they go in, they're risking their lives, and it's just, part of the routine. It's just what they do. Nice to have this one finally up on the channel, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.